Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about a semi Mandela effect. It is to me because it's something I never learned or never knew about when I was growing up, and that is the moon and its cycles and the way that uh, the times that it rises and sets and uh, all that. It's kind of crazy to me because I don't remember ever as a kid, the moon being up during the day. Like every once in a while, like I would say maybe like once or twice at the most in my childhood, I remember seeing the moon out during the day, but it was not a common occurrence like it is today. Uh, and so I started thinking about it and was wondering why that was. And so I looked up uh, the times of the day that the moon rises and the moon sets. And this is kind of what I found. So I just did a simple search for moonrise, moonset, and I came up with timeanddate.com, one of the first results. So everybody should go and check this out for themselves so you can see that I'm not manipulating nothing. I just took some screenshots because I'm not good at doing math on the fly. Uh, so I just took some screenshots and I started here with May of this year. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's May 6th at 1:16 in the morning. So we're going here at 6 o'clock, or May 6th uh, is right here. But anyway, so you just go back to the beginning of the month. Um, on the 1st, the moonrise was 9:21 a.m. and it's the next day on the 2nd, it was 10:30 a.m. That's an hour and 9 minutes difference from one day to the next of when the moon came up over the horizon. So on the 1st, it rose at 9:21. At the 2nd, it rose at 10:30. An hour and 9 minutes difference. And then it set on the 1st at 12:33 a.m. And then the next day, it set at 1:31, which is a difference of 58 minutes. So that's not too bad. 58 hour and 9 kind of makes sense. Basing it on, the way the sun rises and sets, it sets, 10, 12, 15 minutes maybe apart from day to day. But then what's weird is you go down just 10 days later, the 10th into the 11th, the moon rises at 6:59 p.m., which is a little early for me. And then it sets at 8:01 p.m. It rises again the next day at 8:01, which is an hour and 2 minutes difference. But the weird thing is, you look over here at the moon set on those same days. On the 10th, it's set at 5:04 a.m. But on the 11th, it's set at 5:26 a.m., which is only a 22-hour or 22-minute difference. So why is that happen? Like, why does it rises an hour apart from one day to the next, but it sets only in 22 minutes difference? It's kind of weird. So then I, moved on to 2 months later. So in May, June, July, and this is of this year that's upcoming. Went to the first of the month. There's only 20 minutes difference between the moon setting from one day to the next, but still an hour difference from the moonrise. From the 1st to the 2nd, one day to the next, it was an hour difference in the moonrise, but only 20 minutes difference in the moon set. And then same here, you go halfway through the month down to the 17th and the 18th, you got 26 minutes difference in the moon set and an hour and 14 minutes in the moon rise. Why is it not consistent? The sun's pretty consistent. Why is the moon not consistent? Like, it just kind of doesn't make sense to me. And so if anybody out there knows, the science behind it, I don't remember any of this. Like, I just remember the moon always coming up because when I moved into this house that I live in now, 20 years ago, for the first 10 years, there was, I spent the weekends sitting out on my back porch and watching the moon come up over the building behind me uh, in the eastern sky at 8 to 9 o'clock at night. Sometimes 7 if it was earlier, or if it was the winter time, maybe I don't remember which times they came up earlier and later or whatever. But it was always between 7 and 9, maybe 10 or whatever. At the most, it always came up over the same. I sat on the same back porch and watched it come up over that same building for 10 years. And it just, it was always the same, every weekend. And now it's not like that. I mean, I don't hang out on the back porch as much as I used to, but it's still now, I notice it from when I go to work, because when I pull into my parking spot every single day, I know which way is east and which way is west, and the moon was always coming up in the east right around the time that I got to work at 9 o'clock, 8:45. And now sometimes I pull in at 8:45 and it's all the way on the other side of the building, in the western sky going down. So as here, we jumped up to November of this year, and there's a little bit of, might be a little bit of confusion, because from the 1st to the 2nd is when the time change was. So it says 3:10 to 3:22, but with time going back an hour, that makes it an hour and 12 minutes between this moonset on the 1st and on the 2nd. Hour and 12 minutes difference. And then I didn't do the moonrise, but the moonrise is 4:19. Let's say 4:20 to 3:43, so 4:20. So the moon rises at 4:19 p.m. and then the next day it rises at 3:43, so 4:43. So 20, 30, 40, so 24 minutes. So there's the moonrise. It's 24 minutes difference over here, which I don't have it marked because I missed that one. So 1 hour and 12 minutes from the moon set, and 24 minutes from one day to the next for the moon rise. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why would it rise an hour and 12 minutes difference from day to day, but then set 24 minutes difference? It's crazy. And then we go down here to the latter part of the month, and we got 9:53 a.m. for the moon set, the moon rise, and 10:43 the next day, which is 50 minutes difference, and then moon set 6:36 to 7:33 is 57 minutes difference. So it's just weird, sometimes they match up, but 20 days earlier they're completely different, hour and 12 minutes to 24. So it's just weird to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me why it goes like that. So here's the actual website, and like I'll show you, it's still live. Like all these screenshots are just from like an hour before I started recording this, so it's all the same, but go check it out for sure. And then the one thing I didn't understand, if anybody can tell me this, it says the moon does not pass the meridian this day. And so I'm not super educated on all this stuff. So if anybody can tell me, anything about this, I'd love to learn. And if I'm, completely off the wall with this, you can let me know that too. Just be nice about it. But it seems like every month, there's always one day that the moon doesn't pass the meridian. So that was the 9th on that day. It was the 8th on that day. The 7th. So it goes by, it looks like it's going one day at a time, going backwards one day. 7th, 6th, 5th. It skipped to 6th that day. So yeah. So I don't know exactly what that means. I thought this was pretty interesting. Let me know what you think. If you have any, insights or clues on, what to look for. I just noticed the moon in different parts of the sky, different parts of the different times of the day, way too often, and it shouldn't have been there when it was. And I guess what triggered me is one day I was driving home and I was driving west to my house down, Main Street in my neighborhood or in my city, and I could see the sunset, and then to the right, straight ahead, and then the moon was setting to the left in the same sky, in the same western, going down over the same horizon, just in, different parts of the sky. And I thought, never in my life I've ever seen the moon setting at the same time as the sun setting. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If you think this is interesting, share it with a friend. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.